Hello, everyone. This is Generic Fool's Test. Sorry for streaming later than I don't normally stream on Thursdays, but I'm going to try to do it more often now. I intended to stream earlier, but I went to a place with my father that does Korean fried chicken, and it was far for some reason. My father went to a place that was almost an hour away, so I left and then got back not long ago. I wanted to take it easy. One of the things I got was Carolina Reaper fried chicken. For those people who don't know, the Carolina Reaper is hi. It's been a while. I'm sorry for streaming so lately that you've not been able to take apart. Hope you're doing well. Just a random person. I am going to be eating Carolina Reaper fried chicken. Do you know about the Carolina Reaper pepper? Well, years ago, the ghost pepper was considered to be the spiciest pepper in the world. It was an Indian pepper. Then some Americans were like, no, we're going to make a spicier one. And so they made the Carolina Reaper. One second, let me just see it. I'm sorry, I was just going to show something else first, but I might as well. Let's see. That, my little headphone wire is getting in the way. Let's see. So, it's a chili pepper, like capsicum Chinese plant. Now, just going to look for the thing. It's exceptionally hot. It's at a 1 point. I don't know how to read that number. It can't for a million or thousand. I'm so stupid. I'm sorry about that. But basically, for the Scoville scale, actually, let me just check because it's a good thing. Let me just check for a jalapeno. No, I'm not going to give money. I'm looking for the ratings. So, yeah, I was right in my thinking. Pepper X is the spiciest pepper in the world. Carolina Reaper is the second spiciest pepper in the world. Obviously, as you see, there's just jalapenos are like all the way down here on this rating. Now, so if you've ever eaten a jalapeno, you know that this is a really bad idea. But I've been taking too long. I'm also eating another fun fact. When you're eating peppers that are above a certain scale amount of spice, you need to be very careful with handling it. You need to, because the oils from the peppers, even if you've cooked something with it, can stick to your fingers, hands, and like if you rub your eyes after doing that, you can seriously screw yourself up. So I've cut the chicken into small pieces and I'm eating it with chopsticks to prevent myself from, rubbing myself in the eye after taking a bite and then, just screaming about the pain for like an hour. To give you, this is a bit of a inappropriate topic of it, but to give you an idea, there's a documented case of how dangerous it can be is. I think this was with a ghost pepper too. A man ate some extra spicy chicken wings, and he handled it. He went home. He thought he cleaned up properly, and then after getting intimate with his wife, She had to go to the hospital because there was residual oil left over from the spicy food he had, and well, it irritated her in a very private place. So I do not have gloves, so I am using chopsticks to eat this. Just like, oh my god, this stuff is bad. But now it's enough time. Stop. It's time for me to stop complaining. Also, this is no longer hot, or I mean warm spot. So the chicken's actually not bad, but the problem is that this pepper is one of the types which it's a slow build pepper. So you can have like one or two pieces and go like, oh man, it's not that bad. And then, you know, after you've give it time to react, you start feeling the effects. Like, if I sound weird, I'm having another piece. It's probably because I'm drooling and or sweating from having a bunch of this. It's not as bad as it was earlier. Also, I'm sorry if you hear me chewing. That's probably not something you want to hear. If it's gross, I'll try muting it. The chicken's pretty good. Oh man. I was hoping for a larger, more obvious reaction. I really love spicy food. Now, I do feel a little bit of a burn, but you know, it's not like it's that much. Oh man. I don't know why I said that. That makes it sound like I'm being more dramatic. Well, earlier, when it was fresh, it was really bad. My father was commenting because there wasn't much of it, because I wasn't sure. I like ghost pepper. Like, I like ghost pepper chips, I like ghost pepper curries, and stuff like that. But, well, it's still, don't get me wrong, it's still pretty bad. Like, I still feel quite a burning sensation. And as I said, this is a slow burn build-up type of pepper. So, for a little bit, I'm going to be fine. And then, after a period of time, I'm not going to be fine. I mean, I like it eating this. It's nice. It's just that, oh god, it's hot. Though, for all you know, I could just be eating regular fried chicken. That's the problem with this type of thing. Also, I don't have milk. The only thing I have here, which is in my freezer, I'm going to get some water. Oh god. But either way, key thing, if you are actually having a lot of problems with eating peppers or spicy food, don't drink water. Capsaicin oil, which is the extract of what makes peppers spicy, when you drink water, which is what I just did, it spreads the oil around your mouth, and you feel more it makes it worse, which I knew, and I thought I'd be fine, but now that I've had water, it's actually making it worse. Oh boy. So, yeah. Well, no, I'm fine. Whew. I just, I ate at the place I went to. They had, banana pudding there, which is really refreshing. Also, I'm turning on my fan because eating hot food also raises your body temperature. So, oh no. I have not eaten even half of what it is. Oh no, it's fine. Oh, trust me, if I am, I still like this. I would probably order this again, though I'd probably order it in as a sandwich. Because, with, cabbage, coleslaw and bread and other stuff like that, it'd be more easily to eat. But if you're just eating the chicken by itself, it's, there's nothing to cover it up or help you deal with that. Also, since I ate some of it earlier, if I didn't think I could handle it, I would not be streaming myself eating it. I'm just going to probably make a bunch of weird noises, so I'm sorry about that. Oh, Wikipedia finally has a dark mode. Oh no, the white finally really bothers my eyes. But either way, I figured that since I normally spend a lot of my streams talking about food, today I talk about food. So, I apologize if I make a bunch of weird noises. Time to have another bite. I have on stream years ago did the one chip challenge where it's basically a chip as spicy as they can make it, and it was a content thing. I bought 2 of them because my spice tolerance is so high. This chicken is a lot spicier than the one chip challenge. Also, fun fact. For the one chip challenge, it came in these 2 coffin like shaped boxes, or at least when I bought them. And I ate the first one. And there's several dumb things. One, I didn't realize my audio was muted. So I didn't realize, so people didn't know. All they saw was me moving around a bunch. The one chip challenge wasn't that bad. It mostly just tasted bad. So when I finally restarted it, it's because someone was like, "Hey, are you doing anything? You're not making any sound." And I was like, "Oh my god!" And after having a one chip challenge, there's a challenge to the challenge, which is not drinking any water or any liquid for an hour, which I did. Or actually did a little over than that. But I was still not bothered, so I tried to have the second chip that I bought. And it turns out there was a boxing error. So the second box I had no chip. It was empty. Now this isn't exactly a cheap thing, and on top of that, the place I got it from wasn't nearby. So that was not very pleasant. But yeah, mostly the one chip challenge was like, bleh. Yeah. So in addition, people didn't hear me, and when I finally did put the audio on and tried to say, well, since no one heard me put the first one in, I'm going to get the second one. Like, there is no second one. The box is empty. for all people knew that I'm just being overly dramatic and going like, oh, ooh, oh my god, no. Ooh. Time to have another one. Some pieces are small. It doesn't really cut this very well. The breading on chicken's pretty good. But oh, this is also funny. Sometimes, wait, is Pepper X the who? Alright, never mind. Sometimes on these scales, they actually put pepper spray. Because if I remember correctly, pepper spray is literally just capsaicin oil. What the hell is beaver dam pepper? But yeah, for people who don't like spicy food, they just think that hot peppers only have a hot taste, which, you know, there are different kinds of peppers which have different levels, like the habanero pepper is really spicy, and the Scotch bonnet is about the same level, but the difference between the two is the Scotch bonnet has a slightly more fruity flavor and adds a more pleasant taste in addition to the level of spice. However, for people who can't handle that level of spice, it doesn't really matter. But you know, if you like that level of spice, then it's really good. Also, as I said, I was going to talk about food. There's a place I mentioned before where, just one second, I'm just going to check something. No, okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Like there's a restaurant I've talked about where I went to, took a bunch of friends. It's a place that I don't go to often because, you know, it's expensive, but it's really nice. But as I said, it's freaking expensive. It's a Japanese steakhouse. There are two, well, I'll show you two options. The main reason I'm bringing it up is because in my home state of Maryland, well, most of the time anyone brings up food about America, it's either they're talking about New York or California. Or occasionally they'll bring up Texas. And then after that, maybe Florida. So Maryland is basically considered to be unimportant, except, oh, we have Baltimore. And Baltimore is the murder capital of America. I actually had to go to the bad part of Baltimore to help someone, but I don't think I'll bring that up today. Okay. More chicken! Oh, it's time for some more spicy cock for my mouth. I think I went too far with that. I don't know, some of these pieces are like... I know I say this is a slow burn, but sometimes it is really like, oh, there's like no heat in this. And then it will just explode. Oh man. But yeah. There's this yeah. Okay, sorry about not dying, but it went down the wrong part of my throat. And when it's spicy, that's not good. There's a place called Gyuzo, which started in Maryland, specifically in Rockville, and then it opened a location in New York, which, you know, for me, I'm proud for. I got state pride because, you know, finally, something that started here in Maryland is finally, well, I'll just move that to the side. Sorry, I don't know if you want to see the message. But sorry about that. But, you know, finally something that was from Maryland opened in New York. Because, you know, I love food, But I'm tired of it always being like, oh, hey, you want to have this best food in America? Go to New York. Go to New York. Go to California. Go to California. Or Texas. Man, I'm not hunched over forward. Just, it's getting annoying how this model is looking way too intense there. There we go. But yeah, this place is a Japanese barbecue place. There are a number of things. This place is... Now, for people who haven't been to fancy restaurants, they might say this is a fancy restaurant. But as someone who's... sorry. I'm feeling the spice now. That's how slow of a boil it is from the last time I mentioned I had peppers. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm being very weird about this. I was trying to be entertaining, and instead I'm being weird. You know, it's easier for the one chip challenge because then it's just... I get it all over in one go, and then I just have to deal with the consequences for like an hour. While with this, I actually have to, eat while doing that. And it's more like, I'll eat a bit, be fine, talking a bit, and then go, oh God! Sorry. If you find it funny, that's better. But if I'm making you feel weird, I'll try doing something else. And if there's something you want to talk about, of course, or if you have any questions you want to ask me. Actually, rather than talking about like this, sorry, ultra fancy thing. Wait, did I have it muted on before? Because sometimes I mute it, and then my microphone will not, not register my clicking. I'm sorry. Okay. So it was recording before. Okay, that's good. Oh man. I'm going to since you're from the United Kingdom, or somewhere there, I'm going to bring up some things Americans talk about to sort of mess with, the British. Specifically, have you heard of a dish called biscuits and gravy? If you haven't, you're going to give a very weird reaction. Ah, yes. So now, it's a dish that Americans love talking to the British about. It is a traditional Southern dish. Now, to Americans, we know what we call biscuits is different than what you call biscuits. So, for you've got an image of us, what we would call cookies, and then just pouring your brown gravy all over those biscuits, all over cookies, which is not what this is. Not at all. Now, Southern biscuits and gravy is, what, you don't you don't dip your cookies into like meat gravy? What's wrong with you? Yeah, no, I think it's best if no. Sorry about that. So, let's see. So, it's an American dish, which now some people it does not look great, to tell you the truth. It is, if you do not if you have not tried this dish and you look at it like this, you're just like, oh my god, what the hell is that? An American biscuit looks like a scone, but it is not a scone. It is... Now, one thing that people don't tell the Brits is anything you can put on a scone, like, you know, clotted cream, jam, jelly, stuff like that, you can also put on an American biscuit. Biscuits are traditionally served just with, are traditionally made using butter, dough, and some salt, and they're folded over and over and over again, sort of like a croissant. So the result is they're sort of flaky and they're nice, and they're usually buttery and salty. There can be sweet biscuits, though this is also sort of one of the problems because a lot of Americans when they make scones, they make their scones like biscuits. But as somebody who's tried a scone and been to the United Kingdom, I can straight up tell you that they're very different. They may look sort of similar, but they don't have anything else. Now it's time for me to tell you about the weird glop that's on top of it. Americans have multiple types of gravy. Though we don't often tell the British that. We just go like, here, look at this dish, biscuits and gravy, to get a reaction out. Out of you. So this type of gravy is referred to as sausage gravy. It's made by cooking down bits of sausage with like a cream-based sauce and some herbs. It is very tasty. However, it's food meant for people working on farms who have to do a ton of heavy labor. So this will be very filling. It's also not exactly low-cal. And it's one of those foods that, you know, when you haven't tried it... Yeah, absolutely. There are so many videos of British people, you know, making fun of this dish and going like, oh my god, looks like your dog got sick all over the place. Or, you know, the joke of, is that what it looks like after you've eaten it? Like, you know, and stuff like that. But no. It's, I have to admit, it does not look appealing. But it is something that tastes actually pretty good. I mean, okay, clarification. As long as somebody is making it, you know, well, right, it tastes good. Because, you know, if you use... The problem is when you have people who compromise too much on stuff. Like, I'm going to use the cheapest store-bought, like, gravy mix. And I'm going to use this disgusting-tasting sausage. And then I'm going to use old herbs, which have probably gone bad. And then they're like, oh god, it tastes gross. It's like, no, it's... This stuff basically tastes good. It's somewhat hard to screw it up, but it's really nice. Also, just Southern biscuits are pretty good, too. I should have just focused on the biscuits. These are what, you know, the biscuits look like regularly. Okay, never mind. There's also clearly a British thing. Americans don't refer to cookies as biscuits. However, we do refer to specific cookies meant to go with tea or coffee as tea biscuits. Now, as you can see from looking at this image here, you can tell that, you know, why people say that's just a scone. It's not, but it looks... It's hard to describe it if you haven't eaten it, because, literally, this looks like a scone. It doesn't taste like it. They tend to have more flavor. And also, most of the time people eat biscuits, they're in a savory form, as something that you eat with a meal. Some people do dip it into tea or coffee and basically treat it like, British people or people from the United Kingdom would with scone. But we don't usually use clotted cream. We do like putting jam or jelly, which I guess that's another thing. In America, there are several different types of fruit-based spreads. Jelly and jam are very different in the United States, which I don't often hear people describing what the actual difference is, but here it go. Here's my jelly is basically the product without fruit in it. I mean, well, they use fruit to make it, but after the jam is done, they basically will remove pieces of fruit from it, like seeds, and strain it. So it's just the, jelly part. Jam is where there is the fruit still inside. So you'll get little chunks of the actual fruit in addition to the jelly. And preserves, as far as I can tell, there's a lot more fruit in it. I don't know if that's interesting. I guess, one second. Jolly. All right, here. Yeah. Really. There's an actual clarification on the different things, or what separates jam, jelly, and preserve. Some people are picky in America, so we don't like bits of actual fruit inside of our jelly. So, they just eat it they just eat the jelly. Some people like it when there's actual pieces of the real fruit inside of it, which is what the jam is. And then some people like preserve, where it's just a lot more fruit out of the actual fruit inside. Yeah. But also, there's a good channel called Jolly, which is because they combined names of the two hosts, Josh and Ollie. I'm probably not going to upload this to YouTube, so I'll just show you a bit of it.
All right, Ollie, time has come. We're in Savannah, Georgia. We've come to
and
try
meanwhile, I'm going to be eating more of this stupidly hot chicken.
I'm actually excited.
After the chicken's done, I have to eat
excited. Ollie, you've seen the memes
oil
about biscuits
bread
and gravy.
Biscuits are never something you eat with gravy.
Blasphemous.
We've been recommended this place, Maple Street Biscuit Company.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's busy. Hello, how are you?
Very well, thanks. I think we'll start off with like the risky biscuit with sausage gravy. Can we grab a squawking goat and a cowboy?
And what is the name of your dream job?
Oh my gosh.
Astronaut, I panicked. Are they going to call that out? Okay, so when they shout out astronaut, I have to go and... Okay. I don't think I've ever even thought about being an astronaut. It popped into my head. I don't know why.
Pretty offensive. I mean, you and I literally work together and I'm standing right here.
Alrighty. They yelled out astronaut and I had to go up and get it. Like, yes, that's me.
I bet they don't have this on the space station. This is nothing like biscuits and gravy. It looks like a scone.
It does look like a scone, but they're using it like it's like a burger bun. Also, our gravy is like dark brown. That looks like some kind of burger sauce. And of course, with biscuits in England, you have to have tea. Wow. So we've got southern biscuits and tea.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
That's a big cup of tea. It looks like they're just missing the milk. You just need to add milk. What?
Yeah, that's very sweet. That is very sweet.
Oh, that's good.
It's good though. It's
That is good. It's so syrupy. I can feel the sugar
It tastes
lining.
Do you know about Southern sweet tea? Or have you heard of it? Yeah, first I need to get water. Oh God, I'll be back. Ow. That's what happens. I shoved the rest of the chicken in my mouth, chewed a bunch, and then swallowed it. So that's, I'm good now. But, I, did something stupid. Because I was like, well, you know, I must I must promote engagement. And technically, I still have the piece of bread that was on the bottom of the chicken that soaked up all of the hot sauce. So, you know, for me, I'm sort of dreading that. Because that bread was white bread and it's just red from all of the sauce. Also, I thought it might be entertaining, yeah, but I will be eating it. I do not like wasting food, but either way. Southern sweet tea is, 1 second, I'll just lower this screen. But Southern sweet tea is basically, you take tea, like some type of tea. You make tea, first of all, you know, like, as a British person, you are familiar with how tea is made. Not how some Americans make tea, but, sorry. But afterwards, it's cooled down, sugar is added, and it's served with ice. Now, you can have it sweetened or unsweetened. If it's unsweetened, it's basically just cold or cool tea with ice, which is rather nice and pleasant on a hot day. But if it's sweet, it's usually really sweet. Like, depending on where you go, it can either be, like, you know, reasonable, or it can make soda look like it has no sugar. Yeah. I don't want to. I can't handle it. Oh no. I'm fine. It's just that, as I mentioned, this is sort of like a delayed heat thing, so occasionally I'll be just like going from being fine to just, like, you know, suddenly feeling like I got a slap in the face. It is, as much as I'm making noises now, it is nowhere near as spicy as it was earlier. I don't know, but through the process of cooling down, it somehow got a lot less spicy. Like, when I ate it at the restaurant, I was sweating. My dad was like, "You good?" It's just bad. But anyways, yeah. So, in the South, sweet tea is something that's really well liked. Sorry. I'm happy. You see, my suffering is entertaining. Hooray! This couldn't possibly have a bad consequence in the future. Well, at least I'm not drinking. I've done that, and that doesn't usually end well. Well, correction. I have a really high tolerance for alcohol. So for me to really get drunk, I need to start basically doing stupid things like chugging vodka or chugging whiskey or, you know, just drinking liquor that's meant to be sipped over a long period of time and just drinking it like a shot. Which even then, I usually just get tipsy. But either way, I'll continue on
Tea
this thing
syrup.
here.
That's what it tastes
Yeah,
like.
tea flavored syrup.
Tea flavored syrup. I would have that
Wow.
on waffles. You could pour that on
You
waffles.
literally could.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where do we start, Josh? Because I am so
Let's start
hungry.
with the classic. So first up, we've got our biscuit, and it is literally smothered
Sopping.
in gravy.
It's sopping.
I have to admit that still does not look very good.
There is so much flavour. I'm a little bit overwhelmed.
Quite bready. It's very buttery.
Half of that must just be melted butter. Melted butter mixed in with some spices.
Or maybe cheese? Is this sausage meat in this?
Yeah, there's some sausage, spiced sausage. You know what? That is actually incredible. I'm kind of lost for words. I just want to keep eating it.
There's certain genres of food, right, which is warm, slimy, and bready. It's like a hug in food form.
This is the
I don't know why
ultimate
he
food
said
hub.
slimy.
It's the ultimate
This
food
should
hub.
not be
You're
slimy.
right.
I think you're right.
100%. No, you're right, Ollie.
No.
You're right.
You know what? They're right.
Southerners are right. All right, well, this is just the beginning. Second up, I believe, was called the Cowboy.
Is this
I'm going to explain something next before this. This sandwich has something called country fried steak, or it could also be called chicken fried steak, which is basically, you know, while it's not like, you know, a really good steak, it's usually a thinner cut of steak which is pounded out and then battered and fried. If it's chicken fried steak, they use seasonings like that they would usually put in, you know, fried chicken on top of the steak. It's really good and it's really crispy and it's nice, if not locale. Basically, if you want to learn a little bit more about the history, it's believed to have been made by the immigrants from Germany who moved to the United States and wanted to make schnitzel. It's basically American schnitzel. If you have it or country fried steak on its own, it's usually served with either a sausage gravy or a white gravy. And you can have country fried steak and eggs, which is usually just the country fried steak with like 2 eggs, or usually like a hash browns or something. Or, you know, some people eat it for like dinner. Actually, let's be honest, most people probably eat it for dinner. I'm just a fat ass. But anyways.
Is this
Fried
chicken?
egg? Fried egg? That looks like candied bacon. Oh, there's chicken.
It might be steak, Josh.
Country fried steak.
What's country fried steak?
It's just breaded steak and then they deep fry it.
Okay, I'll cut it in half. I'll try. Oh gosh, wait. Oh no.
You did that with the precision of an astronaut.
But also, just as you can see in this example of a biscuit sandwich, you wouldn't think of putting, like, you know, meat between a scone, right? Because that wouldn't work. Like, you know, you'd put like clotted cream or jam between a scone, but not like literally put like, oh, I'm gonna put some bangers and mash on this scone. And I think more than a few people would stare at you weirdly. But like with biscuits, you can have them, as I said, savory, you can have them sweet. So many different ways you can have them. As you also notice, it's kind of big. It's sort of a funny story because my mother's family is from France, and years ago, when they first came to America, her brother came over to visit, and they took him to, yeah. Well, yeah, and then there's also this other funny thing. There are a lot of terms where British people will, you know, call out Americans, say, "Why are you so weird for using this term, America? Why can't you just use the original English term?" I can't remember what the examples of this are, but there's a lot of terms which originally were used a certain way, and then you know, America continued using that terminology or that way of saying the word, and then the British basically changed the word or used a different word. Soccer is, oh God, I'm eating the bread now, I'm sorry. And even eating the crumb. All the spices in the bread, oh boy. Well, basically, soccer is an example. British people now use, you know, football like the rest of the word. But soccer is what the term they originally used. America continued using it, and then the British stopped using it. Yeah. It's just the weird thing that exists. Yeah, oh my God, it is a lot. It is shocking. I didn't think the thing that would be giving me the hardest time is the white bread. Though if I showed you this white bread, you'd clearly understand because it's only white in a few spots. It's basically I want to call my mommy. I'm scared. I can't handle it.
Salty.
I almost choked.
Wow. I was going to tell you the story. They got my uncle a sandwich from an American deli, and he just couldn't figure out how to eat it because it was too tall. It was just like, how am I supposed to fit this in my... How do I eat this? It's like, you put it in your mouth. But it doesn't open that big. You know, it's just sort of amusing because a number of people see American food sandwiches and stuff like that and act like that. But yeah. But now my lips are burning.
Holy moly.
It's salty. It's greasy. It's buttery. I mean, it tastes like a heart attack.
In the best way.
In the best way.
Best way.
In the best way.
But the batter on the steak is so perfectly seasoned. I'm like at a loss for flipping words.
I mean, the internet, much like this food, is a glorious, happy, fun-filled place. But also, much like this food, if you go in unprotected, you could die an early death. There's threats out there. And with over 5,000 servers worldwide, NordVPN provides fast, reliable security to keep you safe
I use
from hackers,
NordVPN.
trolls, the other a-holes, but probably not partisans.
It's worth it.
This is worth
Well, I
it, but
thought
it's
I
not
got
worth
the
going
plan to help
online
Nord
without
break my heart.
NordVPN.
Definitely not.
Its threat protection service can protect you from tracking ads and also prevent criminals from accessing your data. And with our code, you can get up to 69% off.
Yeah.
But not only that, they're offering people 4 months free with a full refund guarantee. Unlike other VPN services, you can connect up to 6 devices to the same account, so it's a really good deal.
Wow, that is a good deal.
Without the support of NordVPN over the last year, we wouldn't have been able to go on these trips and make content like this. So if you want to support the channel, go to nordvpn.com and use the code JOLLY to sign up.
Now back to the biscuits.
Another biscuit for you.
What's interesting about this is obviously online, like people joke about English biscuits and gravy and there being kind of a rivalry. There really isn't a rivalry. This is nothing like English biscuits.
Completely different. It's a completely different category, and they're both equally valuable.
God damn it. I ate such a small piece of the bread, my God. Ow. My lips are burning now. How come the chicken wasn't this hot? I mean, it was earlier today, but... No, there's still... I've eaten like a quarter of the bread. The chicken is gone. There's a few, like, tiny bits of the breading that broke off. But, oh my. But the bread that the chicken was resting on for a while, that's there's still, as I said, like okay, correction. I think I've eaten a little under a fourth of it. Ooh. Well, like, yeah. This is such a bad idea. Oh man, I'm boned. The real challenge is tomorrow after I've digested the food.
Valuable. It's just the same word. It's like American
Sorry
pants
about
and
that.
English pants. Both very necessary.
Yeah.
They do different jobs.
Unless you're going to command.
Oh yeah, like I guess you might have missed the joke that they just made, which is like it's like American pants versus. I'm sorry. Yeah. I haven't eaten any more bread since the last time I said I had a piece. Like, whew. 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 Sorry with all the sound effects. British pants or American pants refer to different things. But if you're not wearing American pants, well, okay, American pants refer to, you know, jeans and stuff like that, while British pants refer to underwear. Yeah. I'm not going to continue the joke.
No, in which case American pants are doing all of the work.
Yeah, but who actually likes to go commando? Okay, so no gravy in this. Now this was apparently featured in the Food Network, so even though it doesn't have gravy, I thought we should try it. What is that? I think this is goat's cheese. Ooh. Strange addition. This is some kind of jam?
Don't they call jam jelly here?
No, they have jam and they have jelly.
Is this jam or jelly?
That's jelly.
This
That's
is
jelly?
Gosh,
So-
there's a lot of confusing things as an Englishman here.
Southern fried chicken, obviously, famous. Chicken and biscuit. Is that a thing they go together often?
Oh no.
This is a traditional thing.
You're doing great.
Goat cheese, fried chicken, biscuits, some kind of green.
Ugh.
The thing that stood out to me with the fried steak, very nicely
Ugh.
seasoned. Like peppery.
Peppery, yeah.
Really satisfyingly peppery. Quite unique. Like I've never had fried chicken that's seasoned like that before.
Okay, let's do this.
Oh wow. Wow. What the heck, man? That shouldn't be that good. Goat cheese I was skeptical about. Incredible.
Very good.
Very good. Chicken, juicy in the middle, beautifully spiced. This has been an eye-opening experience.
People talk about comfort food. English tea and biscuits is a comfort food.
Definitely.
It's
Warming
homely.
tea. Dip that chocolate biscuit in until it melts just before it falls off.
This is obviously more substantial.
Oh, this is 1,000 times more complex. All the biscuits we
Biscuits
have,
are
sometimes they're a little bit
rather
flaky.
filling.
Scones we have, sometimes slightly flaky. Whereas this is so buttery that it's really flaky. You can literally see just
hell is that
flakes
green
of it
color?
peeling off.
Oh, that's
When we were queuing up, there was a guy mixing the dough.
yeah.
I was struck by how there was so much butter in it. He was actually struggling to keep it all together.
Yes, crazy. I'm completely won over.
Butter is one of the
I'm
primary
100% on
ingredients
board
in
with
biscuits.
biscuits and gravy.
I think I am too.
I think it is actually the better biscuit. I can have that 3 times a week for breakfast in different forms, sometimes with bacon, like maple bacon and maple syrup. Most of the time with that beautiful gravy. Be a happy, fat man.
Yeah, in that order.
Yeah, it's
I just
just,
think they're different things,
I'm
but
going
I
to-
do appreciate how
I think I'm
much
gonna
of
take a longer
warm
break
hug it
between
is.
having
I didn't
lots
actually
of
tell
bread.
you this. My granny died this morning.
No, I forgot this failure was
Yeah, I got a
sadly.
call.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Do you know she was sick?
yeah. I went to see her right before we
that
came.
granny.
Yeah, I don't know. I can imagine going with relatives and. You know, it's just like comfort food. It's like, it's unpretentious. And, on a day like today when I'm thinking about my family and obviously pretty far away from my family. It's really nice. It's really nice. It's nice to go somewhere where you can just relax, right?
Yeah.
And you just have something that's,
So homely.
yeah.
Oh, you
Getting a
almost skipped
hug
to the
down
next
here has just been absolutely incredible. If you haven't been to the south, you need to come and try that.
Oh, never mind. It wasn't that. But yeah, these are what the sandwiches look like. A chicken biscuit is a relatively common thing in the States, which is, as you can see, it's fried chicken between a biscuit, using a biscuit as bread. McDonald's in America has those as a breakfast item. Yeah. But yeah, this is, so what did you think of the Southern biscuits and gravy, and the American biscuits, or how they looked, or were you too distracted by me spazzing out every 5 seconds over the spice? Yeah, there are a number of things that, when you haven't tried it, look terrifying. Like, as I mentioned, the biscuits and gravy, it's like, oh my god, what are those chunks? But it's actually really simple to make. It's like, if I remember, cream, spices, and then, sausage filling. It's pretty simple. It's one of the American dishes which is not that hard to replicate. But yeah, it's definitely you have to get over the way it appears. There's other interesting American dishes, like, have you heard of chicken and waffles? I guess more specifically, fried chicken and waffles. It's too late. Oh my god, I broke a piece of my keyboard off. It fit back in though. What? Wait, what? Huh? Oh no! You can see the thing I was reading. What the heck? Why is it? Okay, 1 second. Alright, so... Yeah, sorry about that. Yes. This is what it is. It's not a joke. Yeah. Oh no, my trash taste has been revealed. But okay, normally, from what I remember, you don't usually serve it with a white gravy. But yeah, it's usually just some pieces of fried chicken, some waffles, and you usually apply maple syrup. Its origin is from jazz musicians. They'd be playing all night long, and by the time they were done, it was sometime between breakfast and dinner. So basically, they couldn't figure out if they wanted to eat dinner or if they wanted to eat breakfast. So they would just order chicken and waffles, and they just give me a plate of waffles and some chicken. And that's how it came to be. It's actually pretty good. However, as you can see from the last few American dishes I've shown you, you can sort of understand why Americans have a problem with losing weight. I mean, people talk about how the British like eating, you know, a bunch of not terribly seasoned food, and, you know, all their food is terrible for you. It's just like, look at this. I mean, plenty of people will go like, fried chicken and waffles, what the heck's wrong with you? That's so stupid. And then they try it and go like, I hate that I love this. But you know, it's basically just Americans and most of the country love eating food like the British do. It's just that they have their different form of it. Like, okay, normally when you get fried chicken and waffles, it's not chicken nuggets. It's normally an actual piece of fried chicken. Though depending on where you go, they'll sometimes mess with the chicken, or sometimes they'll mess with the waffles. But yeah. Also, do you like American pancakes? Or do you prefer the crepe? Or crepe? You know, at one point I could pronounce that word in the French way, but not anymore. Yeah, well, don't get me wrong, people love chicken nuggets. And, you know, it's the simplest way of recreating that dish, but it's at the same time not the way you're supposed to do it. It's just like how McDonald's is not really a good place to have a good hamburger. McDonald's is a place to get a cheap meal. But, you know, since I showed you several things which had, like the white gravy, I might as well show you a few others. Okay, so red eye gravy is another kind of gravy that Americans use. It's, you know, one of the problems is a lot of foods in America are completely regional. So while there are certain things which you can basically get anywhere, like you can get a hamburger or hot dog anywhere, and generally speaking, you can pretty easily find bagels in America. But in the South, and specifically some parts of the South, you can get food with like red eye gravy, which is different because, well, red eye gravy uses coffee as a base. It's basically some coffee and pork drippings. So it's sort of like, you know, how your brown gravy is made, except instead of using beef, we use pork and we add a little bit of coffee and cook it down. And it's usually served with ham or pork, or, well, you know, you can put it on like a lot of stuff. I forgot to ask, do you like coffee? I do not like coffee. However, I am aware that I am a weirdo minority. Oh, okay, that's good. I was going to, you know, make a joke if you said you did go on. Ew! How could you? It's like, leave this channel, never come back. Okay, bread time. Okay, so far this one's out. It's burning my gums. Yeah. I keep mentioning it's a delayed burn, and I keep forgetting that, so I bite into it a few times. I'm like, this is nothing. And I keep feeling it in my nose. Whew. Sorry about that. But yeah. I don't know. There are some things which, you know, use some coffee flavor, which is okay, but clearly red eye gravy wouldn't interest you. I'm going to ask you a question which might seem stupid, but you know, I've been surprised sometimes. You do know about American barbecue, right? Oh, okay, good. Because, you know, there's some stuff which, to some people, it's just like, you know, if you don't care about food, and have you ever had any? First, I'm gonna get water. I will be back. It's burning. Oh my God. Yeah. So. So have you ever tried American barbecue? I mean, you've heard of it. Ah. Any interest in trying it? Or just like, I know of it, but don't want it? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but I want to. I mean, don't. Sorry. I'll just. I'm fighting it, but I don't know if I can win this battle. The battle against the bread. Oh no. Figures the chicken didn't bother me that much, but the bread is killing me. But of course, you know that for American barbecue, there's like different regional styles, like Texas, Lexington. Well, either way, there's many different styles of American barbecue. However, you know, there's a few. Well, Texas is the one that's the most known. Let's see if I can find it. Personally, my favorite cut of barbecue is the beef rib. Ever seen a barbecue beef rib? Because I assume you know what pork ribs look like. Ah. So, yeah. This is a beef rib. It's also called a dino rib. Sometimes. As you can see, it is the rib of a cow. Oh yeah. People, you know, there are people who can like completely finish a rack of pork ribs, but usually people will only eat like one beef rib because, well, it's big, it's thick, it's fatty. However, you know, if you don't cook it right, it's dry. If you're eating American barbecue, it should not be dry. Even if it is what's referred to as, like, you know, a dry barbecue, or, well, that's not their term, but some American barbecue uses a sauce which they slather the meat in, and then other places use a dry rub to coat the barbecue. In either case, if the barbecue is dry, that place screwed up. It should literally just be like, dripping and just wonderful. And then, of course, there's burnt ends, which, let's see. Which are basically at the end of a brisket. There are these parts which are extraordinarily dark. So in the past, barbecue masters used to just literally throw it away because they're like, that part's clearly burned. We don't need this, and dumps the meat in the trash. And then finally, someone was like, you know what? Why don't I just at least try a piece? And they're like, oh my God, this is literally the best part of the brisket. And then, they decided to collect the burnt ends. They'll sometimes cook them a little bit more so that, it's toast or crispy on each side. And then they may serve it like, you can eat it like this. Sometimes they will take beans and literally put the burnt ends with the bean and cook the beans with the burnt ends, so the beans get the taste of that, delicious barbecue meat, which, as you can imagine, is pretty tasty, though. As you can see, though, one of my favorite things is actually barbecue turkey. That sounds weird, but barbecue turkey is usually really good. I mean, it sounds funny, right? Like, oh my God, the American who, keeps talking about how much he likes fatty food is talking about how he thinks one of the best things is the turkey. The meat that's notoriously known for being dry and having little taste. However, through the barbecue process, it usually becomes moist and tender and just full of flavor, which, can't always tell from the way it looks. Now, as I mentioned, pit beef is considered the Maryland style of barbecue. Though, if I remember correctly, it's basically grilling. It's not like regular barbecue. And traditionally, you take that meat, you thinly slice it, and then you put it on a sandwich with some onions, some pickles, and then I think something called tiger sauce. The problem is that although this is technically, some people say it's Maryland style barbecue, it's really Baltimore style. And in order for me to get this, I had to drive down to Baltimore, which I didn't really want to do. I mentioned earlier that Baltimore was the murder capital of America, but Baltimore has a number of different areas. Some parts of Baltimore are high-end. There are some very wealthy people who live in some parts of Baltimore. Then there are other parts of Baltimore which are just, normal, residential areas or normal areas. Like the Baltimore Aquarium was pretty good. I liked going there as a child. And then there's the murder capital of America parts of Baltimore, where they have a bunch of things like sensors which are there to detect if a gunshot goes off, at which point the police will be notified and they'll immediately send squad cars there. Or, the parts where it's gang-infested territory, which I had to go there one time. That was a scary experience. More bread. God, I do not want to eat the massive piece which is refused to be cut. Oh yeah. Like in okay. Oh, I still have water. Good. It's people who they don't know how bad Baltimore is think that like DC is bad. DC outside of the capital area where you know all of the embassies and where the Capitol building and White House are, there are some poorer areas where you need to be careful. Like, I think it's a lot better than it used to be. Like, people used to joke about getting stabbed in the nation's capital, which, you know, that's fun. Also, since I just remembered something, people, unlike in Europe and a lot of the rest of the world, Americans don't hate our nation's capital. Mainly because we're decentralized. So, you know, like in the United Kingdom, or specifically England, a lot of people outside of London do not like London. While a lot of people in London think that, you know, the people outside of London are basically hicks. Or that's what I've heard from people from there, rather. And that's because a lot of the wealth was sort of concentrated into London. And people are like, there are too many foreigners, and all that other stuff, and, you know. I don't know why. I forgot that one of the big pit beef places is Chaps Pit Beef, and I just thought Chaps, and then my brain went, assless chaps! Which, I don't know why my brain went there. They're usually something worn by men. Also, usually they're worn over pants. Usually. God, that took a turn. But either way, sorry about that. My brain went into a weird direction. I'm not going to... Either way, I guess, let's see. So, there we go. Changing the subject from my weird tangent. Let's see. Okay, well. I'm not going to any one of them, so... well, as you can see, these are what the sandwiches look like. So, as you can see, they're pretty stuffed. I have not been to Chaps Pit Beef, actually. But yeah, you see they have a number of stuff, like the regular the beef. They have the sausage, like the hot Italian, the regular cheeseburger, other stuff. Sort of surprising that they're frying fish too. Actually, yeah. Why is there just a singular? No, it's probably not bad, but why is there just one singular fried fish dish? Do they fry anything other than probably, you know, like French fries? But like you see here, there's also a number. What? I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to avoid the topic of assless chaps. And by bringing up the regular... Oh, God, I brought it up again. Turning on the fan a bit. Like, am I having a stroke? Probably not, but either way. More bread. I guess you could say I'm the... Ow, it burns. Why is that... I think I have a cut on my gums. And oh boy. Only the most engaging and fun of content. Oh yeah, I guess Utz potato chips are also the Maryland thing. I don't know if you have this. Yeah. I'm just dying, don't worry. So, you know, it's funny, keeping my mouth closed brings me less pain. However, as a content creator, I can't exactly just awkwardly stare at you the entire session. Well, I mean, I could. Apparently, there are such a thing as a quiet VTuber, which, you know, where someone recommended that, thought that... someone brought that up because I once muted myself for an entire stream. Like, are you a silent VTuber? And I'm like, no. I just realized now that my microphone was off. But either way, Utz is a potato chip company, which I think it's a... Well, no. I think it was Maryland-based, or at least it was showing that. Where did they originate from? Let's see if there's a Wikipedia. Oh, never mind. Hanover, Pennsylvania. I mean, maybe it was originally there, but you know. Sorry. Once again, I guess I'll just change the subject to this. This is a Maryland thing. That's the burger cookie thing I showed you about the other day. It's funny, every time I show my mother these cookies, I get a rather amusing reaction from them. If you ever have a chance to have one of these, eating them by themselves is really rich, but having them with like some vanilla ice cream is also really good. However, it's really bad for you. These burger cookies are clearly not the regular ones because they look too nice and uniform. These cookies are basically made by dumping the cookies at the bottom of something and then literally pouring on fudge all over it. So they are not, while the cookie part is uniform, the topping is like all messy and just, you know, like just everywhere. And it has weird angles, weird parts dripping off the side. It is an ugly but tasty cookie. And of course, I've told you about the Smith Island cake. I looked here to see if there were things that, you know, a taste of Maryland from the Maryland website. The Smith Island layer cake, which, as I said, I can't find really almost anywhere in Maryland. A beloved Maryland tradition, the official state dessert is a standout on any table, with its thin layers of delicate yellow cake, each slathered in a decadent smear of icing. Smith Island cakes would be too beautiful to eat if it weren't so damn delicious. Okay, well, this is the rockfish and mango ceviche. I think I told you about ceviche in the past, but basically it's like raw fish cooked in a lemon in a citrus sauce of spices. The treasure of the Chesapeake meets the mouth-watering flavors of the tropics in this dockside favorite. Yeah. Tangy, spicy, healthy, and unbelievably delicious. Maryland rockfish and mango ceviche is yet another reason to book a Maryland fishing charter. Oh. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Sorry about that. But also, I don't understand. Like, that ceviche isn't exactly ceviche is like a Spanish-Mexican thing. Crispy Maryland catfish. Blue catfish are an invasive species. Okay, so we're now advertising something as a state fish when it's like, this fish doesn't belong here, and we actively want it to get out. But hey, we'll treat it as like a national, like a state thing. It's number 3. It's like, this isn't something unique to Maryland. This is something that's like, you can find catfish all over the damn place in America. Though there is also some corruption in catfish fishing. Catfish is cheaper to buy from Asia, and a lot of people who fish catfish in the United States, especially the companies that, farm grow them, are like, no, we're going to lobby to make sure that you can't get the cheaper, like, Asian catfish, because we don't want that here. We're going to lobby to get a bunch of people to say that it's unclean and dirty. But anyways. But watch it decades ago. The bad news is that they are diminishing our native... Okay. The bad news is that they are diminishing our native aquatic life, like blue crabs, striped bass, American shad, yellow perch. The good news is these invaders are delicious. Put your apron on and get ready to help the bay by cooking some crispy blue crabs. Catfish, sorry. Yeah. Like, just... There's a lot of invasive species that come here. Yeah, it's just... Like... Sorry about that. And then it's like, Maryland stuffed... I don't know what... I have heard of Smith Island cakes. Grilled Old Bay wings? What the... Old Bay is a traditional seasoning. And by the way, the bay that they keep referring to is the Chesapeake Bay, which is really good. I've heard of Maryland chicken, but I've never seen it served anywhere. Or chicken Maryland, rather. Anyway. Stuffed ham. Dishes don't stick around virtually unchanged for 3 centuries, unless there's something truly special. And this Southern Maryland favorite certainly fits the bill. From the founders of the Maryland colony to the tables of today, Maryland's stuffed ham remains the hallmark of an unforgettable holiday feast. I don't know. Are you talking about how I'm reading? I'm sorry, I'm doing my best to like top 10 top 10 foods from each state. Like reading, just if I'm annoying you, just tell me and I'll change the voice. But yeah, just like, I mean, to be fair, my family is while we don't really practice, it's technically, we try. My mother doesn't like eating like ham or pork dishes because she's came from a Jewish family. She loves to eat seafood and like shrimp, but you know, and she also loves bacon, so I guess it doesn't matter that much. But yeah. Grilled Old Bay wings. When people think of Maryland, the iconic shape of an Old Bay can is probably one of the first things that comes to mind since we put it on everything. It's no wonder Old Bay wings are a staple at restaurants and pubs across the Old Line state. Old Bay is actually pretty good. It was originally made for, like, you know, fish. But it works on French fries, it works on a bunch of stuff. And that's that weird little can in the background. Let's see. Old Bay. Yeah. This is it. There's so much stuff that they put Old Bay on. They also put Old Bay on, like, popcorn. There is, I'm going to call it the forbidden flavor of you know, the Fisher's popcorn, which, you know, is Old Bay and caramel seasoning, where basically it's a caramel popcorn which has Old Bay seasoning on it. Yeah. It's it's pretty weird, and don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but it's not something you exactly want to admit to people that you're having Old Bay with caramel on popcorn. But either way, on with that. Fried wings with the seasoning is probably better. I don't see this a lot at places, though at the same time I don't exactly order wings much. Chicken Maryland. Oh no, I'm tripping over the first word. Scoffers Chicken Maryland is a breaded, pan-fried chicken garnished with what the fuck? Sorry. Garnished with bananas. According to Francis Benier's 1951 classic Amiable Baltimoreans, bananas were one of the Port of Baltimore's 10 leading imports, and they made their way into all sorts of dishes. Is that a banana in your chicken, or are you just happy to see me? I'm sorry about that. What in the world? It's just like, as I said, I only know of this dish because I've seen it listed as, you know, the state dish of Maryland. But I have never heard anyone make it. There was one restaurant which had it, and I've seen places say that they have like a chicken Maryland on their menu, but it doesn't have bananas, and it's been like, the one I saw was like a Thai restaurant, Thai or Vietnamese restaurant, I can't remember, but either way, it's just like oh god, okay, yeah, well, this is the dish people would consider probably our state dish. That and a crab boil, maybe. I like crab. I like the parts that are inside of a crab cake. But for some reason, combining all their parts makes me not like this. But anyway, If the Maryland flag weren't so cool, we'd probably fly a picture of a crab cake over the State House. Because that's a sane thing to do. Once you've had your first real one made with hand-picked Maryland jumbo lump crab, you'll know why. Meh. I'm not a fan of it, but literally everyone else I know likes them, so you know, it's just another case of me being a weirdo. What? Me a weirdo? More bread time! Because my gums aren't still burning from the last one. Okay. Now, I figured out what they did at this place. When making the chicken, they fry the chicken so it's not seasoned first, and then at the end they apply this powder onto the chicken after it's fried, just after you pull it out from being fried. That last piece had a bunch of the powder, and I feel it directly on my throat. Oh no, this is bad. Cream of crab soup. This easy and inspired dish is a rich and decadent celebration of Maryland crab's unique flavor. As to the age-old debate, spicy red Maryland crab soup versus its smooth and creamy cousin, you'll have to try them both and decide for yourself, or combine them half and half. A true win-win. Yeah, I did too. I'm still feeling the burn. But yeah. Maryland crab soup. Bold and spicy, with a heady scent that fills the room with the flavor of the Chesapeake. Maryland crab soup accompanies our best-known seafood star with the bounty of Maryland's farms, as far as which is the best soup in the world. Okay, I don't know. Okay, Maryland Board of Tourism, please watch yourself. Yeah. The best soup in the world, Maryland crab or cream of crab? The obvious answer is both. Maryland fried oysters. I'm actually not sure if Maryland oysters are better, because most of the time whenever I go to get oysters at a restaurant, they're like, hey, you can get local or California oysters. And everyone's like, screw the local stuff, let's get the California oysters. A lot of people would not say Maryland is the best state. I'll show you Maryland on a map after this to show you just sort of how small Maryland is. Maryland, oh wait, I should probably read, I have to read the anti-oysters. You have to wait for months with an R in them to enjoy this Chesapeake staple. But with more and more Maryland oyster farmers working at the bay, this is a dish best served year-round. Bah. Making vocalizations spread the spice. I was feeling fine while I was being quiet. Maryland oyster stew. A winter warmer welcome in every Chesapeake kitchen. Maryland oyster stew captures the heady flavors of the bay and is sure to become a favorite of any shellfish devotee. What, you're not going to say this is also one of the best soups in the world? So it forms a three-way tie? Deal Island Devil Cream Cake. I have never heard of this. Okay, before I saw this list. This is the Maryland Board of Tourism. To be fair, I didn't exactly live in a trendy area. Actually, the place I grew up in a nicer part of an area. Well, not okay. I grew up next to a mall where a bunch of people got shot or stabbed. So, you know, getting people to come over to my house wasn't exactly easy. It wasn't like... Saying it like that makes it sound more dramatic. It wasn't like it was ultra common, but it happened enough with enough regularity to which people kept it in mind that, oh, you live in that region? No, I do not think I will be coming over to see you. But either way, the Deal Island Devil Cream. Deal Island Devil Cream. Decadent and delicious, this rich chocolate cake with luscious vanilla cream icing is the pride of Deal Island and the yin to the Smith Island cake's yang. Try it once and you'll know why this traditional favorite never misses an appearance on an Eastern Shore holiday plate. Literally, I only know about the Smith Island cake because I'm a weirdo who likes food and I look up stuff. The Deal Island cake, this is the first time I've ever seen it. You can have a Smith Island cake delivered to you, I believe. Now, I don't know if specifically to where you live, because you're across the pond, as they say. And on top of that, even if you could, I don't know if it would be worth exporting a cake or importing a cake like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you visit Maryland, which, first of all, why are you here? Why did you come there? Yeah. But like this just looks like a regular cake. Like, I mean, the Smith Island is just a regular cake but with more layers. The Deal Island Devil Cream Cake just... So wait, is it just a regular chocolate cake? Is it a devil's food cake where instead of, you know, using chocolate icing, they use... Wait, is it a reverse devil's food? Wait a second, let me just check. Okay, so in the event... a metaphor. Have you heard of the devil's food cake? Just making sure. It's, you know, just basically a chocolate layer cake with chocolate icing. Oh yeah. I'm not sure if it's American cake or if it's a European cake. There are some things where, you know, countries love to label a food as being from a culture when it's not. Like French fries, or, oh, I'm sorry, I believe some people call them freedom fries. America. No, I'm not going to sing that song. But yeah. But German chocolate cake is an example of that. People are like, it's a German cake. Clearly, it's not. There was a long time ago, before times, even before me, the man before the internet, there was a company called German's Chocolate Company. And they had a magazine or something where you could send in recipes, and the recipes they liked would be sponsored. And one of the recipes was a German's chocolate cake. And it was called that because it used German's chocolate. But, you know, as time went by, German's chocolate went out of business. So people stopped calling it that. And like, oh, German's chocolate? Just call it German chocolate cake. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, they actually have it listed here. That's... A lot of places don't actually mention that it's, you know, from that. But basically it's a chocolate cake, a chocolate layered cake with topped and filled with a coconut and pecan frosting. Do you like coconut and pecans? Because otherwise this is not your cake. I think this one looks better than this one. This one here just looks like oh no, the cat sick got on the cake. It's just like, my god. 1 second, I'll be right back. Yeah. Sorry, just filling up on some water. Time to eat one of the bigger pieces of the bread. Yeah. There. Yeah. I gotta be honest. Eating so no, mostly done. Oh. But but not quite. That was a sound made for dramatic things. I'm not that sick. Oh wait, sorry. No. I forgot. But let's continue on. But yeah, I have no idea what the deal island. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna check it out. What the hell makes a Deal Island cake a deal like Okay, I'll check the recipe to see if there's anything special in it. 12. Vanilla cream, chocolate cake with vanilla cream icing. Okay, so it's a regular cake. Why the hell is it on this? Yeah, I'm sorry, but you know, if you're going to put it on, you know, a Taste of Maryland list, you should be putting stuff that, you know, is iconic. Like, as I mentioned, pit beef is something that you can't really get. Lido, hell, fucking Lido pizza, sorry, hecking Leo pizza is a better example of Maryland. Although Lido pizza has expanded outside of Maryland now. It's just like, this is literally just a regular chocolate cake with vanilla icing, and they're going like, oh yes, this cake which you can clearly make anywhere in the world, and it might be something that I have a feeling they just literally pulled out of their butt to try to add another sweet thing to the list, is something from Maryland. I know a little bit I don't even really know much about Smith Island. I know they apparently have their own dialect, which is sort of strong and hard to understand. But outside of that, it's just like not much. What the hell's Deal Island's idea? But either way, the pan-seared... Wait. What? Why the heck is he there? Pan-seared Chesapeake Ray with local sun gold tomatoes, purple what the heck is a purple pepper? And red onions. And seriously, why is his face? Yes, clearly, the ray is not the fish; it is the man. Do you know how hard it is to come across rays? Do you want a white meat or dark meat ray? That's terrible. I don't think people would come. In this day and age, people aren't going to complain if you get the white meat, if that's the case. Sorry. This bold dish may seem exotic at first, and will surely wow your guests. But it is a simple, quick preparation that highlights. I would think it would be highlights. The highlight delicious, steaky Maryland Ray, a lesser-known treasure of the Chesapeake. Rays apparently taste good. However, they have an extraordinarily short shelf life. And that's partially because of their anatomy. Do you have any interest in trying Ray or Skate? I guess I'll... 1 second. Oh, the cow nose Ray is in America. Oh, that's... Never mind, that's a Chesapeake Bay program. Behold, the cow-nosed ray. Okay, I feel slightly bad now, because they are slightly cute. These are the types of rays which, if you go to an aquarium which has a petting area, that you might find these little rays swimming around inside of the water. They're pretty friendly. The reason why, by the way, the reason why, oh yeah, they are. But, there are some messed up videos people put where it's just like, hey, we're gonna plop up a ray so that, you know, it's out of the water and it's bent and you just see its underside. And then we're going to tickle them. Look, they're giggling. It's not giggling, they're suffocating. There are people who are just like, isn't this so cute? It's just like, you're torturing that animal. What the heck's wrong with you? There are so many people who do stupid things like that. It's because they're like, look at this cute content. And it's like, you're torturing an animal. Put it back in the water. Most animals that live in the water don't like coming out of the water. There are a few exceptions, like, you know, lungfish or octopus, which can, you know, Octopus can survive on land or out of the water for an hour. But, you know, these creatures are not designed to do that. They're messed up people. By the way, the reason why skates and rays are hard to store is because they pee out their skin. But you know, that's kind of a gross fact. But you know, that's why. If it's fresh, it tastes good. But if you let it sit for too long, it tastes a bit like the urea in the skin will break down the skin, and that's not good. But however, most people are terrified of the idea of eating rays. So I have no idea why this guy is here. But I forgot, we're talking about the white guy. We're not eating Chesapeake rays. We're eating white people named Ray. It's okay. The Maryland white potato pie. A soul food favorite and a Chesapeake tradition dating back to colonial days. Maryland white potato pie is a bright and beautiful take on a simple potato with a healthy helping of sweetness and a ripping citrus zest. I was not expecting to get kicked in the throat by spice that sorry. I didn't eat any bread, but I'm eating bread now. Where did the... Okay. I'm going to just eat. There's a fourth of this thing left. I'm just going to eat it. Yeah. Nah. Oh God. I'm also eating the leftover bits of chicken breading. Just so I can say I'm done. The only thing I could do to eat more is to lick it, and I'm not gonna lick that. So, well, I may have low standards and do a lot of self-start. No. Oh, burning. Oh boy. Oh God. Ugh. Okay. Feel the burn. I probably should have been taking smaller pieces. Okay. I need the air fan. Ooh. Is there a Maryland steak dish that looked appealing to you? Ugh. Ugh. I'm good. I'm good until round 2. It's mostly just stinging my face. And the inside of my mouth. Round 2 is after it's all been digested. I will not be streaming that, don't worry. I will suffer that in silence. So, as I said earlier, have you any Maryland dish that looked like you'd wanna try? I can safely assume you don't want to have any of the oyster stuff, since you said you don't want, or you don't like shellfish. Sorry for the TMI. Gross thing. I have a friend who talks like that all the time, and I slightly picked it up. I brought it up because I was sort of like, the heat was bothering me. I just autopiloted it. I'd like to not use that type of humor. Okay, so at my age, literal potty humor. That's not great. But trying to think. I guess you can make a red velvet Smith Island cake. But first of all, what the heck is? Why are you putting Christmas ornaments on your cake? That seems rather weird. My mouth is still burning. Burn, burn, burn. Disco Inferno. Yeah. However, I do have to wonder, is the icing too much? I mean, some people say, like, there could never be too much frosting. At which point I have to say, you have maybe not tried some American cakes. Not all Americans love eating, like, stuff that will instantly melt all your teeth and give you mega cavities. But a lot of cakes, especially cheaper cakes, have, like, ultra sweet icing. To the point of where, even if it's, like, very thin, it can basically be like, you know, you're eating pure sugar. But if this icing isn't too sweet, then it should be great. But if it's like, you know, the normal, like, oh god, it's, yeah, just, as I mentioned, not all American cakes are like that, but some of the cheap store-bought stuff that you can buy are like that. Like grocery store cakes can be like that. I do not remember opening that. Oh, I was opening up the wrong stuff. I was like, where is that? No wonder. I just kept closing other things, unrelated stuff. But, Have you ever had Tex-Mex? Or correction, have you heard of Tex-Mex? I'm going to well, I've talked about Mexican food before, so I know you've at least heard of it. But Tex-Mex is sort of like Mexican food that's been somewhat Americanized. Or it's been Texanized. So it's not 100% authentic Mexican, but it's a lot better than the nonsense like fake Mexican that you can get like elsewhere. A lot of people, if you have the option to, I recommend you try Tex-Mex first, because there's nothing off-putting in Tex-Mex. In true traditional Mexican cuisine, you can find, there are some things that you can have in there which will totally scare you away. Like, tacos are a popular thing, but I doubt in the UK that it's easy to get a hold of. Is it chicaliques? I can't remember what the Mexican term is, but they are cricket or grasshopper tacos, which, you know, that is horrifying to some people. I gotta be honest, to me as well, it's also kind of scary. No comment? So wait, should I take your no comment as you want cricket tacos? They're crispy and crunchy. Let's see, wait. Oh, okay. There's in relation to grasshopper, there are several things. In America, there are things that are referred to as grasshopper, which are not actually grasshoppers. Like, before I show you the thing that will probably weird you out, the grasshopper drink or cocktail. It's called that just because it's green. It's a sweet mint flavored after dinner drink. There's also like grasshopper desserts, which is, of course, as you know, anything that's traditionally American, it has to be neon colored, to the point of which you're wondering, does the food coloring it use, is it safe for human consumption? There are also grasshopper cookies, I believe, which are basically chocolate cookies which have a mint layer in them. But I don't want to look up grasshopper cookies because I don't want to find like, oh hey, look, it's an actual grasshopper poking out of a biscuit. But I tried grasshopper tacos once, actually, and not like, you know, the mint chocolate thing, like literal grasshoppers inside of the taco. They say they were grasshoppers, but they were like cricket sized. I'm going to be honest with you. If you're going to try something like that, taco form is probably the best way to try it. Because when you hide the fact that you're eating bugs, and then you add a bunch of stuff like sauce and other things to cover it and coat it, and then you hold it tight so you don't see any of them pop out, it's a lot easier to try to eat them. However, my problem is when I was eating one of them, literally a full-sized grasshopper inside of it fell out and managed to perch itself like on the edge of the bite mark on the taco I had, and was like staring at me in the face. And at that point I was like, never again. God, it was bad. Yeah, as I said, it was just like a whole grasshopper, just like, you know. Obviously the antennas were gone, but you know, that was like it was difficult to eat it. However, in Mexico, they will eat those things like chips or crisps. They eat them with like salt, some minor seasoning, and lemon. Which, you know, they're great. Eating them is good for the environment. They have a ton of protein, a ton of nutrients, and a bunch of other stuff. But eating bugs is not easy, especially when it's a whole unprocessed bug. Like, you can eat insect flour, which is basically, you know, they take a bug, they grind it into powder, and then you can add it to stuff to make it healthier. That I can find it easier to tolerate. But when it's literally, you know, the thing staring you in the face, I'm like, nope. No. But either way, if you eat Tex-Mex, they don't have that stuff. So proteins in Tex-Mex are basically proteins that would not weird you out. Yeah, so, you know, just stuff like pork, chicken, beef, sometimes fish. Though usually in Tex-Mex, it's, you know, land animals. Like, actually, I'm going to show you one more Jolly video. Why did it? Okay, that was weird. All right, so clinking continues. No, I do not want clinking to continue. So, delayed reaction. I don't know why it's taking so long.
Today, we have come to Jolly El Dorado.
Crack out the
All right,
mariachi
good.
band. We are getting Tex-Mex.
El
So this will give you
Dorado,
an idea what
Who
they
knew?
have.
It was here in a car park.
The real gold, Ollie,
Yeah.
is Tex-Mex food.
Okay.
Well, hello, everybody.
Oh, hello.
I'm Joel.
Hola, I'm Ollie.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Y bienvenido. We went ahead and got you started off with some of the basics. Anytime you walk into a Tex-Mex restaurant, you're going to judge them on a couple of things. Guacamole, the queso, and the salsas. And he's going to be arranging these from not hot to really hot.
Sorry, I'm a bit overwhelmed. I feel like I'm in a Mexican wrestling ring, and we've just walked in, and we've just been punched in the face.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Add a Thunder Rosa taco to the order.
on the way.
We're trying to bring things back to the way we grew up,
Yeah.
and this is how you start.
Amazing.
This looks incredible. Already, these like tortilla chips just look so much more handmade. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow. Wait, what? There's something else going on there. That's not just normal guacamole. Is that the chips? Wait.
That is so good.
Is it cheesy? These tortilla chips, I think they're the best tortilla chips we've ever had.
Yeah.
You've got the...
In America, when you have, like, go to a Tex-Mex or Mexican restaurant, if that place uses store-bought chips, you are basically committing a cardinal sin or a war crime. Any Tex-Mex or Mexican restaurant worth its salt will literally give you freshly made tortilla chips. And the difference between, you know, the store-bought stuff and stuff where they literally make the tortillas themselves, they cook them and then they cut them after making them and fry them immediately, then serve it to you there. The taste is so different. Especially, you know, if they make their guacamole from scratch.
The flavor of this freshly fried tortilla
can
chip
see.
with the nacho, that is incredible. No, genuinely, I don't need anything else today.
Is this
It's like we
queso?
peaked.
Oh.
So I guess I'll mention queso too. Queso is a type of cheese sauce. It is basically slightly spiced. And it's a mixture of, well, it sort of depends on where you're going. Sometimes the queso is just literally like, as you see, this sort of what looks like a milky cheese. And then sometimes it's got a bunch more stuff in it. Sometimes the queso has like tomatoes or peppers or other stuff in it. It's usually like a creamy, lightly spicy cheese. Most people can handle queso.
Whoa. Holy crap. I don't know if I've ever tasted a cheese like that.
It's like the milk of the gods.
It is so, it's milky. I want to drink that.
No one will judge you.
We can get some straws. We have wide mouth straws,
Are you serious?
specifically designed for queso slurping.
No, is that...
Oh,
No,
I was going to
okay,
make a joke.
I will
Yes,
believe
that
everything
is
you
something
say.
people
This
do
is
in
above
America.
These are some more of our
Chunk
signature
queso.
appetizers. This is our nachos con queso. We individually build.
This is actually close to the original style of nachos. People say that nachos were not a Mexican creation, which is not true. Nachos were created by a man named Ignacio, and he worked at a restaurant in Mexico, which was visited oftentimes by Americans. And one day they asked him to sort of put something together. So Ignacio took some fresh tortillas, cut them, fried them, and then on each individual tortilla chip, he put some refried beans, some avocado or guacamole, some sour cream, and a pickled jalapeno on top. And that is how they do it. And whenever somebody came by and wanted, they're like, give me Ignacio a nacho. They'd start mispronouncing his name as Nacho. So get me the nachos. And that is how nachos were born. However, as Americans usually do, we just basically took the idea and essentially cheaply reproduced it. So instead of having each and every chip basically have its own sauce and everything, so that each chip is, you know, a full experience, and no chip is uncovered or, you know, lacking sauce, we basically were like, let's just dump a bunch of them in a bowl and pour on cheap nacho cheese. Don't get me wrong, that stuff still can be good, but it's just like, it's not like the original. The stuff where nacho cheese is just dumped on top of it is the American version. This is, as I said, basically what the original version is.
Build every nacho so that
Or
each nacho you get is like more of a
similar.
full symphony.
So you never get a nacho that has no topping?
That
Exactly.
nacho was made for you.
What the size of that? Oh my gosh. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Is that like refried bean paste?
I think it's black beans or mushed up.
Can you see the size of that? That is just, I've never had anything like that and being allowed to call that nacho. Look at this. Oh. Oh my gosh.
See, that's right there. That's the love. You saw the dripping queso off the chip. You had the angle of the dangle perfected, and you're only on your second nacho, man. I love it. This is the Thunder Rosa.
By the way, do you like nachos? Or have you never had them? Because in America, they're literally, you can get them at games, you can get them at movie theaters, and you can get them at bars. Nachos are a pretty common thing here. Of course, you know, in addition to the nacho cheese, we also put stuff like beef, like either ground beef, steak, chicken, other stuff, sour cream, and then, you know, guacamole. Ah. Well, depending on where, if the place you have them makes the chips from scratch, or whether they're using store-bought stuff, will greatly change your experience. Store-bought chips are, or store-bought tortilla chips are just, they're okay. You know, if you want to make the poor man's nachos and just like take a bunch of tortilla chips, dump cheese on them, and then maybe microwave them or put them in the oven if you're feeling fancy, alongside some, you know, like guacamole and other stuff, then it's fine, but it's really, you can't compare. It's one of the things I'd recommend if you try, if you can, though. From what I've heard from some British people, Mexican and Tex-Mex food in the United Kingdom apparently is bad. Like, really bad. Because they don't get a hold of the proper seasonings.
She is a world champion lucha.
I'm going to go back a little bit.
Love it. This is the Thunder Rosa. She is a world champion luchadora that has become a very dear friend of ours. And this is just the classic crispy taco.
Now, can I say, I'm really excited about this because it's got to taste good, because it doesn't look good. You know?
It looks like it tastes
It's
incredible.
like Ed Sheeran. You know he's talented, right?
He didn't get famous for his looks.
He didn't get famous for his lips. He didn't. I mean, I love Ed. And basically everyone loves Ed, right? But you know it's just raw talent. You do. You do.
Yes. Yeah, I can't argue with it.
I don't know who Ed Sheeran is. By the way, do you agree with Ollie saying that that doesn't look good? Because to me, that looks amazing. Like, also, I keep pausing and asking questions because yeah. Oh, you think it looks great, or you say it looks? You think it looks like Ed Sheeran? I don't know. But yeah, I keep pausing it because if I play the thing, I'm adding a commentary. If I add a commentary and, you know, do a review and make it so I'm not just literally uploading someone else's content. Yes. Well, I think I might like this Ed Sheeran. If it truly does look like it.
Oh, mate, that thing looks absolutely incredible.
Just eat it. That's the best thing we've had so far. That's the best thing we've had so far. The meat inside is crispy, like a...
The heat from the chicken is now in my stomach. My stomach is like, why? Why have you done this? This is bad.
smashed patty.
Oh
Almost
god.
tastes like a smashed burger in a taco.
I would let that Mexican wrestler pummel me.
She can suplex me in half.
Yeah.
Because that
She
is
can tombstone
incredible.
me.
I'm not sure that's a thing in Mexican wrestling.
Have you seen the move Tombstone? It's an incredibly violent
That
move.
is so...
It's almost impossible for a neck to survive that move, you know? And I have a bad neck. That's a
Someone
big
else
thing.
needs to try this. Luke, can you please try that? Because that is genuinely unreal.
Unbelievable.
Oh, all in one. All in one. None
Proceeds to eat
No,
the
no.
entire thing in front of the rest of the crew.
He's outraged right now. How good is that?
Ducky's
It's
the
naughty,
second
isn't it?
cameraman.
It is naughty. It is.
Josh, we're returning to the inferior delivery system,
I want-
which is the brittle taco.
I want to put some guac in.
Also, crunchy tacos are an American thing. While it can be difficult to, distinguish the difference between Tex-Mex and Mexican, one of the things that can easily be used to discern from them is the hard shell taco, which has tomato, lettuce, and sour cream in it, which is usually filled with, ground beef. That is an American taco, or some people would say a white people taco. The crunchy shell is not something that really appears in Mexican cuisine. I mean that some do. Tostadas exist. A tostada is basically a fried corn tortilla that's flat where you'll put stuff on top of it. This is basically the crunchy taco is basically a tostada that's been folded. If you eat one that's made fresh using fresh tortillas, it's really good. Alternatively, you could try Taco Bell, and then you could have cheap but mediocre stuff and then suffer the consequences later. Much like oh no, I said I'd stop that. But anyways, continue.
Cheers, mate. Oh, wow.
The texture difference, though.
The
From the
crispiness.
crispiness.
I'm not gonna lie, I sometimes hate these two from watching their content. I mean, for me, it's easier because I live in America. I can feasibly go to Texas. But I've watched people from Sweden and from the United Kingdom watch these two and go like, I hate you two. When will I ever be able to go to this place? When will I ever be able to try this food? But yeah, this is definitely one of the places that they really enjoyed when they went there.
The crispiness
The
is
steak
so
In the
good.
middle, this is like super soft, but the taco on the outside is warm.
I think the last time I had a crispy taco was when we had Taco Bell with Ryan and Shane.
Yeah.
And this is literally incomparable.
No.
Since you're in Texas, we wanted to produce a bowl of chili.
Is that just any regular chili?
No, it is an award-winning chili.
Wait, what? What is this belt?
We won a chili cook-off last weekend.
World
Last
and
weekend.
champion.
Yeah.
Reason.
This is the Dart Bowl enchilada.
This is our Chef Renee's enchiladas. They're just good. There's no historical significance. They're just good.
Fantastic.
But his first dish as our chef was to create a mole. And that is a very classic interior Mexican sauce.
So over 32 ingredients go into making the mole. It's hands down the best
Incredible.
mole in Austin, Texas.
Wow.
Chili. I meant.
So, mole is a chocolate-based savory sauce. Usually when people refer to mole, they're referring to that sauce, the chocolate mole. Even though in Spanish, or at least Mexican Spanish, mole means sauce. Guacamole is one of the types of sauces. Though if you bring it up, some people get angry, going, guacamole is not a mole. And it's like, it literally is a type of mole. That's why mole is in its name. Because there are people who are like, mole can only have, chocolate in it. It's like, that's probably negra mole, or black mole. There are different types, but either way, the chocolate mole, the traditional one at least, has a number of spices in it, and it doesn't have sugar added. Chocolate, or at least the chocolate that you're probably used to eating, has a ton of sugar and may have milk added to it. If you ever try eating pure chocolate, you will see that it is really dark and kind of bitter. But yeah.
To ask, how do we eat that? Like, why have we got saltine crackers? I guess we eat it on the saltine crackers?
Oh, yeah.
Like, dip them in?
Scoop it.
Wow.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's also another Tex-Mex.
Oh,
Eating,
that's got all over me.
using crackers with your chili.
Wow. That is rich. That is
Whoa.
very, very rich.
That is such an intense flavour. I totally understand why they won an award for this chili.
It's very intense, Josh.
Yeah, it's
Also, Texans take chili very, very seriously. I can't remember. I think in Texas you're not allowed to add beans either. Like, depending on which region of the country you're having, adding beans to chili can be a controversial topic.
extremely intense, but I flipping love it. It's maybe not quite for your British palate.
I mean, I'm struggling with this one.
Look at that. Luke, this is you. Do you have chili in England? You make chili, I bet you.
Brace yourself.
That is a lot better than any chili you've ever made, I
It's like
guarantee.
chili concentrate. You know, like with Ribena.
Like double strength.
Yeah, it is literally like double
You
strength.
could put
You
that
like
in the bottom of an
Luke's
English
face
pot
every
and
time
fill it
he
up
eats
with
something,
water,
so-
and it would
Dilute it. Put some in a jar and take it home. It'll last months.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're moving on to enchiladas. Should we start with the mole?
Look at that. So mole is like this chocolatey kind of sauce.
Because, if you haven't understood, like, the mole sauce, like, as I explained it, if I just said, hey, how would you like to eat meat with cheese and chocolate? It's just like, please don't put my Cadbury Dairy Milk on top of beef and then pour cheese on top of that, you weird American man. But no, it's not that type of chocolate. It's more like unprocessed chocolate, which is like, yeah, it's just, yes. Because I mean, think of it that way, just like, it's so weird.
That's right. Smell that. Oh, cheers, mate.
Mole. That is good.
Holy moly.
Holy moly.
I think that's my favourite thing we've had today.
It's like if you made a soup out of Nesquik, and cheese. It's so.
Also, don't listen to Ollie's description. Don't just pour Nesquik and cheese together. That will not work. That's not going to emulate this.
Chocolate.
It tastes like
It
chocolate.
is chocolatey, but it's not. A Nesquik is massively underselling it.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than Nesquik.
We have nothing like this. Chocolatey, I have no idea what these flavors are. So much flavor. Enchilada sauce-filled chicken, is it in there?
You've never had anything like that, have you?
We don't have a reference point for that.
I didn't think I could taste any more flavours in life. I feel
know.
like I'm just
I
trying
know.
new flavours for the first time.
That's so true.
Honestly, you get a bit of fajita seasoning and a little bit of Nesquik in there. I reckon you're 80% of the way there. Honestly, do you disagree with me?
Yes.
100%. 100%.
80% of the way there.
Fajita mix and Nesquik, and you're basically there.
No, 80% of the way there. I reckon one of the ingredients.
32.
By the way, most Americans haven't tried that either. However, people who do usually really like the negra mole, or the
Fresh ingredients, Ollie.
Yeah, fresh Nesquik. Have you ever opened it? It's got a
Such an
plastic
idiot.
seal when you take the lid off.
Enchiladas, come on. I want to try this one, the green one. This looks so good. This is.
Wow.
This is just really good food.
By the way, you do know what an enchilada, or well, I guess you wouldn't know what an enchilada is. An enchilada is basically, you take a tortilla, you fill it with like meat and cheese, you roll it up into like a little roll, basically make it into like a little roll, or like almost like a taquito, or like a very, very small burrito. You put usually you, in making them, you'll make multiples of them at the bottom of a dish, and then you'll pour a sauce of your choice. Like oftentimes it's a tomato-based sauce most of the time, that in Tex-Mex at least. You can also use the negra mole, or you can use the green salsa that you see that they have there. You put some cheese on top of it, and then you cook it in an oven so that it soaks in, and then you just sort of like eat it like they are. It's a pretty nice thing. The problem with Tex-Mex is that it doesn't have, like, a lot of stuff is sort of similar. It tastes great, but it doesn't have the diversity of regular Mexican food.
Really good food. We just don't have these combination of flavors in the UK. Last enchilada, the one with a fried egg on top. Wow. Heck, look at that egg yolk. Wow, there's a lot of jalapenos in this one. Cheers.
Holy moly. Man, how are they all this good? Honestly, no one's going to believe this.
How are they all so different from each other? What is that?
We've got bloody Nesquik, green tomatoes, and then what's this? This is like a... I don't even know.
I think it's cheese.
It's basically, it just tastes of cheese.
Wow, I'm getting full. Oh, it's just suddenly hitting me. Wow. Can we end this video by trying the salsas, please? Oh, that avocado salsa is incredible. That salsa is incredible.
Wait.
This salsa, incredible. Oh, that one's got a really nice flavour. Oh, it's got a kick. That's got a kick. Wow, that's actually got quite a big kick.
Holy crap.
I'm kind of scared to go spicier than that.
So this one, they said it was spicy.
This one just looks like cheese sauce. Wow.
That one's going to taste red.
Either they're messing with us or it's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, it's probably the latter.
Here goes nothing.
I don't know if there's another type of queso.
Smells spicy.
It tastes red. Holy crap, it tastes red.
Oh, it's hit my throat.
Here you go. We got something
Wow.
sweet. We saw what just happened. That was
Okay.
on the way
Is
with
he
the
just
milk.
eating the sour cream?
Wow, I'm sweating.
We saw that happen. We brought the donuts because that will cool you down right away. And here comes some milk.
Wow. Okay, that's actually a glass of milk.
Almond milk.
Oh, amazing. What donuts are these?
Buttermilk donuts tossed in cinnamon and sugar.
It's so cinnamony.
Cinnamony.
Yeah.
Cinnamony. This
My
is the
stomach is
perfect
literally
ending.
killing me.
It's so fluffy and light on the inside, but crispy on the outside and covered in this beautiful cinnamon sugar. You know, sometimes you have a meal and you're like, what am I going to do if I can't have this again? Like,
We 100% cannot have this
life
again.
is going to be incomplete now unless I have this again.
I want to ask if they have Nesquik in the mole.
No.
How are things?
Unbelievable. Can I ask a question?
Full. No, it's a terrible
The
question.
mole. Is there any Nesquik in it?
Abuelita. So abuelita is like the Mexican hot chocolate. It comes in the wait. It's like these discs that you chop up and you melt into milk.
Okay.
I'll be right back. Totally. I mean, it's a Nestle.
It's made by
It's
Nestle.
Nestle.
It is literally Nesquik, guys.
Yeah, you can buy that.
It is.
Really.
What? It's made by
American
Nestle.
grocery store.
I cannot tell you how long.
Take it with you.
Oh wow.
Back there.
Thanks, Joel. I'm gonna frame this just to remind Josh that I was right about the ingredient in the mole.
You nailed it, man.
Yeah.
Alright. So, what did you think about Tex-Mex cuisine? Oh yeah, it's definitely one of the things that you should try if you ever want to try American food. And if you try it and you do, oh my stomach. I am almost done. It's like, okay, that's sorry about that. But if you try and like Tex-Mex food, you should definitely try regular Mexican food, because Tex-Mex uses a lot. Tex-Mex is probably more approachable than regular Mexican food. I mean, if you're sticking to tacos and burritos, then it's fine. But some Mexican food can be a bit difficult to approach. But yeah, I recommend this channel, Jolly, because they travel a lot. Like you can see, they've done a lot of stuff. They have met the King of England. They have met King Charles. It's sort of funny. They got to go to Buckingham Palace. And both of them were like, what the heck are we doing here? They've also have another channel, which is their original channel, called Korean Englishmen, where they introduce Korean food to, well, the world, and they've done a lot of stuff. It's sort of interesting. And if you have an interest in figuring out stuff about American cuisine, and you want to actually see what it looks like rather than, listening to me sort of ramble on, get distracted, and then go on tangents, then that might be better. Now, I guess you can also, they'll give you an idea about how much different stuff, though they do mix up stuff. And then there are also Americans who just mess with them. Though they also go to Europe, they went to Italy, they tried real Italian food. They've been to, they've tried many different types of. Okay. My stomach is bothering me now, and I do not want to have a problem, and I would like to uphold at least some dignity. So, thank you for coming by and listening to me monologue about food. I hope you have a great day. I'll try to stream tomorrow. I'm going to go cry now because of my stomach. Oh God, it hurts. Oh no, why? Why did I do this? Oh no. Sorry. But yeah, thanks for coming by. I'll see you next time. Later. I keep waving even though you can't see my hands. Sorry about that. Bye-bye.